A little video running here. The 150th. I remember the 100th when they had the in Richmond. They had that for the longest time. Was in there. Now, are you guys traveling circuit in Virginia or throughout the southeast, northeast, or whereabouts?
Pretty much a little all over the state.
Really?
A little here, there, everywhere. We've been out to the eastern shore, all the way up to southwest Virginia, down by Bristol. We've been up to D.C., all the way to south side,
Okay.
South Boston. We've been in different states. We've been West Virginia, Maryland, so a little bit everywhere.
Right. Now let me ask you a question. You find a lot, it seems like in the last maybe 15, 20 years, there's been a vigor, a renewed interest in the war between states, Civil War, Northern aggression, whatever you choose to call it.
Right.
And a lot of people kind of wonder why, and I always say, because as we get made to be warmongers, we're probably peaceful compared to everywhere else. They've had war for thousands of years and much worse, but this one was a...
You see a lot of interest in it. I mean, you're coming up to a big anniversary, and that I really think is the spurning of it. You got the 150th, and I mean, it only happens every 150 years.
Right, right.
So
right.
you've got a lot of interest being spurned into the into looking back into it and commemorating it. So.
Well, and I think another thing is the amount of technology, that
Yes.
came out of that. Whether it was for good or for bad, the mini ball, the ironclads, just on
And
and on.
today with the 150th, that's another part of the interest in it, is you have a lot more of today's technology that wasn't around for the 100th or anything like that. So you can incorporate it and study it and look at it in totally new and different ways, which is kind of cool. That's one of the things we tried to do with the History Mobile.
Yeah, that's really neat. That's really neat.
One of the projects that we have is through the 150th is a digitization program, which is scanning in documents, pictures, letters. These are documents that people have been holding on for years and years. And since technology's come about, all these letters and pictures and of how soldiers really felt is coming out.
Right.
So you just didn't have the battles and the and the politics of it. Now you're having more personal stories.
Yeah, the stories and the whole thing.
Exactly.
A Ken Burns thing type of.
Right. So all these personal things are coming out, and people, relatives of soldiers and farmers and slaves are now coming forward with all these letters, and so that makes it a little more personal.
Sure.
Instead of the glorified battle scenes.
Right.
So that's one of the projects that we have here at the Sesquicentennial Commission.
And is that based right here in Richmond, or is that?
That's a traveling
exhibit
as well, and there's a lady that works out of the Library of Virginia, and what she does is goes around and scans documents to a large database.
Oh, okay. So she's always on the look for new documents, I imagine,
right.
and that sort of thing.
Right. They have to be authentic, and they have to be the authentic thing. It can't be a copy.
No. Plenty in our family.
So the information has changed to less war type things into more personal type stories. About how people felt about the war and how they felt about coming home and being away from home and things like that.
Noel, how long have you been working with the exhibit, if you don't mind me asking?
Same amount of time.
Oh, okay.
Year and a half. Yes, sir.
Okay. Been an interesting experience?
It has been very interesting. Meet a lot of interesting people.
Yeah. I'll travel on that. Well, there it is, kind of summing it up. It's from Lunenburg Courthouse, which is, of course, a very, very famous courthouse in itself. One of the 4 Jeffersonian design courthouses in structures. Kind of pan over from the van. And it's true, when it comes to war has been common in most of the globe for decades, more like centuries and millenniums. It's fairly new for the new country, as it just passed its 400th anniversary in 2007. And of course, no one will forget 61 to 65 and beyond. Thanks for coming by and check out .com.